Again, another feast day in the Christmas season where we look and we say, to follow Christ doesn't always mean happiness in this world. We look and we say, okay, the death of these innocents for the sake of Christ. We heard in the opening prayer about how they witness to Christ not by their voices, but by dying. They gave that witness, their martyrdom to Christ. And I was pondering over the fact that while evil may be in this world, the saints have said that all things come to us except what comes from our own will. All things come to us through the hand of God. Even if it comes from the evil will of another, it comes through the hand of God, which means we know that God is still working in our lives. He is allowing some evil to happen so that He can bring about a greater good. And we, of course, believe in the greater good of eternal life. That even though these children died, this tragic and horrid, violent death, they are alive. More alive than we are here and now. That there is this promise of eternal life. And they died for Christ. And they didn't even know it. They didn't even know it. And yet they witnessed to His life. Think about so often in our lives when evil comes upon us, the tragedies of life, horrible things happen. We don't understand why it's happening. And we might look to heaven and say, God, why? And He's inviting us in that moment to say, I trust in you. I was listening to a video by Father Mike Schmitz yesterday, and he was talking about just this thing where, when we ask God, what do you want for my life? A lot of times we're thinking, we want long term, we want the whole thing, and He doesn't give us that. He says, more often than not, and sometimes He gives us the future vision, but more often than not, God's will for us is not the long term, but He says, I want you to do this right here, right now. This is my will for you. This person coming to you right here. This work you have to do as part of your vocation. This next step. And we're like, yeah, but we want to know. We want to see. And the Lord is saying, I want you to trust me. Because it's about following God's will is not about following a program, but about following a person in love and trusting in God. And sometimes we have to take that leap of faith. We have to step out in the dark and say, I don't understand why this is happening to me. But I trust that you are a good, good Father. That you're holding me. That even though this evil is surrounding me, and I cannot see a way out, I will take a step of faith and follow you, and trust in your love. Even if it means my death, because I know that you have that promise of eternal life. All these things lifting to the surface in the midst of this tragedy. And yet this tragedy was a witness to the fact that Christ was King. For who would go just to kill a little baby as if he were threatening this person's life? But this child was King. This child was King. If only Herod had known that by following him instead of trying to attack him, he would have lived in peace. May we allow God to lead us in the darkness. May we act in trust. Choose to trust God, even when we don't understand, even when we can't see the outcome. Even when the darkness seems to be surrounding us, let us cry out, Jesus, I trust in you.